Hello everybody, the Quiet Atheist here yet again with another very interesting video for you guys today. Now before I get into anything regarding this video, as usual I wanted to let you all know that the article in its entirety will be provided in the description down below for everyone to take a look at, just in case you guys are interested. I also want to take this opportunity to welcome you all to another story for you where I read an article to you guys without offering my opinion. So let's get started. Mother Teresa, a sadistic religious fanatic who took pleasure in the suffering of others, will become a saint on September 4th, Pope Francis announced Tuesday. To be clear, Mother Teresa was no saint. She was instead a moral monster, a sadistic religious fanatic who took pleasure in the suffering of others and denied appropriate medical care to the sick and dying. Indeed, Teresa was anything but a saint. The nun may have been generous with her prayers, but she was miserly with her foundation's millions when it came to alleviating the suffering of the sick and poor. Researchers report the sadistic nun saw beauty in suffering and refused to medicate those in pain because suffering would bring the afflicted closer to God. According to reports, the celebrated nun had 517 missions in 100 countries at the time of her death, and that the majority of patients were not cared for properly, with many being left to suffer and die without appropriate medical care or pain medication. Conditions in the missionaries of Charity's hospices were deplorable. Teresa refused to introduce the most basic methods of hygiene, even going so far as to reuse needles without sterilization. In addition to her medical malpractice and her perverse and sadistic enjoyment of the suffering of others, Teresa was also guilty of financial mismanagement as well as entertaining and enjoying friendship with unsavory and immoral world leaders. Yet, despite serious questions about Teresa's character, motivation, and methods, as well as concerns about her suspicious financial dealings and contacts, the Vatican, enabled by a gullible and willing mainstream media, has engaged in a well-orchestrated public relations campaign to manufacture a Catholic hero. The late, great Christopher Hitchens was one of the first to raise questions about the authenticity and wisdom of claims made by the Roman Catholic Church promoting Mother Teresa. The following is an excerpt from Hitchens' critique. Mother Teresa was not a friend of the poor. She was a friend of poverty. She said that suffering was a gift from God. She spent her life opposing the only known cure for poverty, which is empowerment of women and the emancipation of them from a livestock version of compulsory reproduction. And she was a friend to the worst of the rich, taking misappropriated money from the atrocious Duvalier family in Haiti, whose rule she praised in return, and from Charles Keating of the Lincoln Savings and Loan. Where did that money and all of the other donations go, is the question. Many more people are poor and sick because of the life of Mother Teresa. Even more will be poor and sick if her example is followed. She was a fanatic, a fundamentalist, and a fraud, and a church that officially protects those who violate the innocent has given us another clear sign of where it truly stands on moral and ethical questions. Hitchens was correct to call out the profane marriage between tawdry media hype and medieval superstition that is the myth of Mother Teresa, a media superstar who was in the end a fanatic, a fundamentalist, and a fraud. Bottom line, despite the facts and ignoring the overwhelming evidences of her moral incompetence, Mother Teresa will be made a saint, demonstrating once again that the Roman Catholic Church is a morally bankrupt institution, bereft of both intellectual and ethical authority.